Does anybody need 43? Yeah? Okay. Alright. Let's see what we got here. 43. Okay, so right here, guys, what do these two angles add to B? Why? Because it's a straight line. There you go. So I can add those together. So if you add those two together, Sydney, just leave it open for a minute, please, dear. Kyron, do you have a pass, baby? Huh? Hey, bro. That's why I shut the door. Blake, do you have a pass, dear? No, ma'am. Can you go get me one real quick? Alright, so let's see. What can I add here? 4x and 2x. How much is 4x and 2x? 6x. Hurry, Kyron, before we get started on stuff. Now what? Nope, not yet. Subtract the 6 first. Alright, what's 180 minus 6? Come on, y'all got calculators? 174. Did you just do that in your head? Very good. Then you can do it. Now do this one in your head. What you got? 29. Very good. Alright, what is that? Does that C? Oh, is that what I said? Hold on. What is the degree measure of the smaller of the two angles? Well, you know what? It would be nice if we actually plugged it in. Thank you, Allie. And who was that? Allie and Abby? Okay, so let's plug that in. So what's 4 times 29 plus 6? Just use your calculator, plug it straight in. 30. It would be, so that would be 58. Very good. So it should be D. Ooh, would help if I read the problem, wouldn't it? Okay. All right, what about 44? Does anybody need 44? Yeah, we'll do it after announcements.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a great day today. We have a few announcements today.
Okay, sometimes it helps to write this stuff down. So it says, let A equal 2B plus 3C minus 5. What happens when the value of A, if the value of B decreases by 1? So how could I write that B decreases by 1? Like, what does decrease by 1 mean? Subtract 1. So I can write B minus 1, right? And the value of C, bless you, increases by 2. What does increase by 2 mean? There you go. And then minus 5. So let's see what happens to the value of A. So let's distribute this 2. So that'll be 2B minus 2. Distribute your 3. That'll be 3C plus 6. And then minus 5. Do you see these like terms right here? So what's negative 2 plus 6 minus 5? Negative 1. Very good. Okay, so here's the original one. 2b plus 3c minus 5. And here's the new one. 2b plus 3 minus 1. What happened? Oh, careful. That doesn't say 5. What's that say? Negative 5 to negative 1, right? So did that increase? First of all, how much is the difference of that? That's 4, right? Well, the only one that's got 4 is F. But it increased, right? When you go from negative 5 to negative 1, they get smaller. So that means it increased. All right, what about 45? Does anybody need 45? Come on, you only got about 2 months until this ACT's here, especially for juniors. 45, anybody? Okay. All right, last one, 46 on the back. Yes, sir. 46, anybody need 46? Thank you, sir. 46, okay. All right, our restaurant has, hey, do y'all see us going over stuff? Okay. Our restaurant has 10 booths that will seat up to 4 people each, but 20 people are seated in booths and no booths are empty. What is the greatest possible number of booths that can be filled with 4 people? Okay, so let's see. You've got, how many booths do you have? 10 booths. 20 people are seated in booths and no booths are empty. Okay. So let's see, that will seat up to 4. Okay, so how many people, let's do this differently. Ooh. How many times will 4 go into 10?
5 times.
No.
Twice.
Twice. Why is this thing not staying focused? There we go. Okay. Has 10 booths and it'll go in there twice, right? But we got 20 people. That's only going to give me 8 people. So let's see. How many? We got 20 people. If 20 people are seated in booths and no booths are empty, what is the greatest possible number of booths that could be filled with 4 people? Okay, well, if they're all seated, guys, okay, here we go. If there's at least one person in each booth, how many people is that?
10.
That's at least 10 people, right? That's one person. How many people does that leave me left over with? How many people do you have?
You'll have 10 people.
You have 10 people left, right? Okay, so we got to split them into, what is the greatest number of booths that can be filled with 4 people? So you have 4 people here, 4 people here. Let's see, that's 8. 1, 2, 3. It would have to be 3, which would be J. It'd have to be, because 2 is only going to be 8. It's not going to be enough. The next biggest one will be 3. Alright, so let us grab our notes, which is page 22, right? I got 2 sections left. We got a test on Thursday. Okay, so hopefully this section is going to be a little bit easier, because I know that factoring got us, a few of us. I'm really hoping we can have a test on Wednesday. I'm hoping we can get this stuff finished today. We'll see. Alright, you got a graphing calculator? If not, you need to get one real quick. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Alright, so, what do the directions say to do? Find all the zeros, right? Okay, so, how many terms does that have on number 1? How many terms does it have on number 1? It has 4 terms, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 terms. So what do you normally do? Page 22. It's on the board. Over there. On the left-hand side where it always is. Page 22. Same spot since August. Page 22. Yes. Got it?
Wait, is that it?
I don't know. It doesn't look like it. Probably the wrong chapter. Any day now, Tom. Just grab a piece of paper, okay? There's only 3 of them. Is that it, Maddie? Is that it? No, Maddie found it. You didn't find it. Alright, here we go. How many terms does it have again? It has 4. And what do we normally do when we have 4 terms? You do grouping, right? The only thing is, if you do grouping, so let me just, you don't do this, let me just show you. What was it? X cubed plus x squared minus 17x. Okay, so what are the first, don't do this, just watch this. What do the first 2 have in common? They both have x squared, right? That leaves me with x plus 1. What do these 2 have in common? Yeah, they do. They have a 1. What kind of 1? Negative 1, which leaves me with 17x minus 15. These 2 are supposed to match up, right? They don't match up, which is why we can't do grouping on this. Does that make sense to everybody? So you grab your handy dandy calculator. You ready? Got your calculator ready? Alright, we go to y equals, because we're trying to find zeros, right? Zeros means it hits the x-axis. So let's plug it in. X to the 3rd plus x squared, subtract 17x plus 15. Make sure you've got that typed in your calculator. Bless you. Anybody need help plugging it in? All right, then what do we do to see where it hits the x-axis? Well, no. Second table would give us a table. Where do we need to go to see where it hits the x-axis? Graph. Very good. So hit the graph button, okay? All right, let it think. It's going to be kind of a crazy graph, but I'm not worried about any of that. I'm only worried about where it hits the x-axis, right? Are y'all okay so far? Yes, same as mine. Okay, so what are the 3 places that it hits the x-axis? What point is that right there? -5, yep. What about that one? 1 and 3. Okay, it's easiest to always pick the one on the left. What was this one again? -5. Okay, so they're not all going to be nice and pretty like that one. So you have to do synthetic division like we've done before. -5 was the point on the left. Are y'all confused about where I got -5 from? Okay. No, yesterday's was it told you what to plug in and you just find the remainders. I mean, not yesterday's, Friday's. Yeah. Whatever your remainder was Friday's. All right, am I missing any exponents? All right, here we go. What's the first number? And the second number? And the third number? And the last number. There you go. All right, cut it off. Here we go. We've been doing this 1,000 times, right? All right, what do I do first? Bring down the 1. Then multiply it by -5. What's 1 times -5? All right, then add it to 1. And what do you get? -4. Then multiply it and you get 20. Very good. Add it and you get 3. Multiply and you get -15. Add and you get, holy moly, that's going to make my life easy, right? Okay, so let's write this. Let's see. 1 less is x to the second minus 4x plus 3. I don't know why I just put parentheses around that. I'm sorry. All right, now what can we do to find the 2 zeros? You can factor. There you go. What are the factors of 3? 1 and 3, or 3 and 1. I'm sorry, I wrote the 3 first. It's all right. And which one's going to add or subtract to give me -4? Uh-huh. -1. Very good. Okay. So if I were to cut that up and set those equal to 0, what would be the zeros that I get? When I add 3, how much do I get? 3. When I add 1, how much do I get? 1. And what was that first 0 that I found to begin with? How much?
-5.
-5. There you go. Y'all okay? Oh my gosh, I don't know if that's right or not. What could I do? Oh my goodness, what point is that? -5. What point is that? +1. What point is that? 3. Y'all okay?
Dang.
But look, if you just put those points, you're not going to get any credit if you just put those points. You got to do the work, okay? Because they're not all going to be that easy. All right, so here we go. Let's do number 2. Go to y equals, clear it out, and let's plug in -2. Now, number 2, you just got to be careful because there's a lot of stuff there, okay? So x to the 4 plus 6x to the 3rd plus 73x squared plus 384x plus 576. Make sure you plug it in, okay? Now what do you do? I gotta find the zeros. How do I find the zeros? Zeros means where it hits the x-axis. Yeah, hit the graph button. Very good. All right, give it a minute. It's going to be a crazy graph. Let it think. You should see this little thing up here in the top thinking. Yours may not look like mine, but there should be something thinking in the top. Okay, well, that only has 1 point that hits. Where's that at?
-3.
-3. Okay, that doesn't mean it's the only 0. It just means it's the only one that I can see. So if it's the only one that I can see, the other zeros have what letter in them? What letter means that you can't see them? They're not real. An I, imaginary. Very good. All right, am I missing any exponents? Nope. All right, what's my first number? 1. What's my next number? And my next number? And then? Uh-huh. And last one? Perfect. All right, you might want to use your calculator because some of these numbers are going to be pretty big, okay? Bring down the 1. Use your calculator because if you get a number wrong, everything afterwards is going to be wrong, okay? Multiply by -3. 6 plus -3 is 3. What's 3 times -3? -9. 73 plus 9 is 64. All right, what's 64 times -3? What is that? 92? Okay. 192. All right, what's 384 plus -192? So, yeah, 192 again. There you go. And then what's 192 times -3? Okay, add them and you get 0. All right, here we go. 1 less than what I started with. What's 1 less than 4?
x3.
X to the 3 plus 3x squared plus 64x plus 192. All right, how many terms does it have?
That's 4.
It has 4. And what do we do when it has 4 terms?
We group
You group them. What do the first two have in common?
x3.
X squared, Blake. Very good. So it leaves me with x plus 3. All right, always take that leading sign. That leading sign is a positive, okay? What is the biggest number that goes into 64 and 192? 64. How'd you know that? Because you know that first number's got to be 1, okay? So that leaves me with, that should be x plus 3, is that right? 192 divided by 64, is that 3? Okay. All right, I know I did it right. How do I know I did it right? They're the same. There you go. So I got x plus 3. And I've got x squared plus 64. So we got to set those equal to 0. So I got x plus 3 equals 0. And I got x squared plus 64 equals 0. All right, move that 3 over. What you got? -3. Very good, which is what I knew to start with. But this is where the funky stuff's going to come in right here. Move the 64 over. You get x squared equals -64. Now what? Square root. Ooh, and what's the square root of -64? Careful. What goes in the front? Plus and minus. Very good. Very good. Are y'all okay? Yes, no, maybe? We got one more left. Not too bad, right? Not as easy as the other day, us Friday, but not too bad. All right, last one, number 3. Here we go. Go to y equals. It's pretty short to plug in. Let it think. You should see something up here in the right-hand corner thinking somehow. Let it think. Okay, what'd you get?
Alright, it should be plus 0. Yeah, x is good.
You don't have to put plus 0. You just plug it straight in, bud. Exactly how you see it. X to the 5th minus x to the 3rd minus 8x to the 3rd minus 9x. That's it. What'd you get? What are your 3 zeros that you see? Negative 3, 0, and 3. All right, the easiest one to use is always the one on the left. What's the one on the left right here? Negative 3. Here we go. Am I missing any exponents? Yeah, you missing a lot, actually, okay? What was it, negative 3? Was that right? Okay, x to the 5th. What's the number for x to the 5th? 1. Do you have an x to the 4th? Nope. Do you have an x to the 3rd? Yes. What's the number? Uh-huh. Do you have an x to the 2nd? Nope. Do you have an x to the 1st? Yep. What's the number? Negative 9. And do you have a number by itself? Do you have a constant? Nope. You got to remember that constant, okay? Cut that last one off. All right, here we go. Bring down your 1. What's 1 times negative 3? Negative 3. What's 0 plus negative 3? Negative 3. What's negative 3 times negative 3? Positive 9. What's negative 8 times 9? Oh, excuse me, what's negative 8 plus 9? 1. What's negative 3 times 1? Alright, add 0 plus negative 3 and you get? And multiply that by negative 3 and you get? Positive 9. Add them and you get? Multiply and you still get? And add them and you get? There you go. Alright, here we go. One less than we started with. What's 1 less than 5? There you go, x to the 4. So you got 1x to the 4 minus 3x to the 3rd plus 1x squared, or just x squared, minus 3x. And I don't have a constant. I got a 0 there for a constant. What do you notice about all of them? They all have an x in common. Very good. Factor out that GCF of x. All right, what do you notice about everything that's in parentheses? How many terms are there? 4, right? So, let's group it. What do the first two have in common? What do these two right here have in common? How much? X squared. Okay, I'm going to go over here so I have room. We're not going to do 4, so you can do the same thing. Alright, if I take out an x squared, what do I have left? Anybody? X. And then? Minus 3. There you go. Alright, what about the back two? What do the back two have in common? Yeah, they do. They always have a 1 in common. If they don't have anything, it's a 1. What kind of 1? Positive 1. Which leaves me with just x minus 3. Alright, here we go. So I got x minus 3. And I got x squared plus 1. And what did we forget to bring over at the very beginning? What should be? The x right here, okay? Can't forget that x. Bring me back over. Alright, let's cut them all up. X equals 0.
We're not doing number 4.
We're not doing number 4, that's why it's marked out, yeah. X equals 0 is done, right? X minus 3 equals 0, what you get? You get positive 3, very good. And then x squared plus 1 equals 0. Alright. Careful. When you move that over, you get negative 1, right? Square root of negative 1 is plus minus 1i. Because of that negative. That negative means the I. Y'all okay? Not too bad, right? Alright, let's go ahead and learn the last thing. That way we can review for a couple of days, okay? That way if we need 3 days to review, we'll take 3 days to review. Y'all good with that? No response. One person's okay with that. Okay.
Wait, what did you say?
I said let's go ahead and finish the last little section. That way if we need 3 days to review, we can take 3 days to review. I already planned on it being on, where is that at? There it is. Alright, page 23. Here we go. It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy. Alright, what the directions say to do?
least degree dimensional coefficient of staff.
Okay, so a function. Guys, what does a function always start with? What do equations always start with? What does it always start with? Come on. Every time you see an equation, what should it always start with? Not always. Look back at the page we just did. F of x, or what's the same as f of x? Y. Okay, either one's fine. Got it good? Y'all okay so far? I need words coming out of your mouth. Are you okay? Okay, one person's okay. Lovely. All right, so if this is a 0 of positive 5, how do I write it in the parentheses? What kind of 5 goes right here? Negative 5. Very good, because when I set that equal to 0 and move that 5 over, it becomes positive, right? Y'all okay with that? And now I got 2 people okay with that. All right, now how do I write the negative 2 inside there? Positive 2. Very good.
So it's basically backwards.
Yeah, just backwards. And then how do I write the negative 1? Positive. There you go, and that's it, guys, okay? All right, number 2. Let's do number 2. Write a polynomial function. What's a polynomial function always start with? F of x, or you could put what instead of f of x? You could put y.
You don't have to.
All right, what about the negative 4?
X plus 4.
Yep. And the negative 3?
X plus 2.
And the 5.
X minus 2. Minus 5.
There you go. That's it. You okay? Okay, I'm not sure why that has a 2 right there. That's supposed to be 2i. I don't know why that was marked through. It's supposed to be negative 3i. All right, here we go. You ready? Okay, polynomial function is f of x. Starts with f of x. How do I write x minus 1? Excuse me, how do I write negative 1? Sorry.
X plus 1.
X plus 1. How many minus 1s are there?
2.
So how would I write that?
Squared.
Squared. Very good. Okay, here we go. You ready? How do I get an I?
Yeah, you gotta
Square.
You square root something, right? Okay, so if I need to square root something, then what kind of x would I have here? X to what power? Square root something would be x squared. Very good. All right, if I have to square root something, that means I had to square root the 2.
minus 2.
So what's the opposite of the square root of 2? What's 2 squared? That'd be 4. Very good. We're going to check it in a minute. Don't worry, okay? And what kind of sign would I get?
Addition.
Addition, right? Check it if you need to. X squared plus 4 equals 0. Move the 4. What kind of 4 do you get? Negative 4. How do you get rid of a square? Square root. And what's the square root of negative 4? 2i. Or plus and minus, actually. All right, let's do number 5. Here we go. All right, how do I rewrite the negative 3? X plus 3. There you go. How do I rewrite the 1? X minus 1. Very good. All right, and how do I rewrite the 3i? X squared. Not minus 9. Plus 9. Very good. Check it, okay? You're like, oh, I don't know if that's right. Check it. Move the 9. You get negative 9. Square root the negative 9, and you get 3i. Y'all okay?
Miss Blackman?
Yes, ma'am.
Is Hunter Cordis in there?
No, ma'am. He's supposed to be with Miss Kendrick today.
Miss Kendrick?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh. Are y'all okay? All right, here we go. That's it. So we're going to study for a couple of days. We're going to review for a couple of days. We got a test maybe Wednesday, maybe Thursday, depending on what y'all think. And then we're through with chapter 5. All right, let me hand out your study guides because they're a little different. We just did another one. You guys have
Okay, well, I'm sorry, I missed this week. Close to one, so.
All right, so if you want to see your current grades, and let's talk about a few things. A couple of you got makeup work that you need to come see me for. All right, let's look at your study guide. You ready? Look at your study guide, look at your study guide. Mark off number 10 and 11. Mark out number 10 and 11. 14, we're going to keep in 15, okay? So 10 and 11 and 14. 10, 11, and 14. Mark those out. 10, 11, and 14. Mark those out. All right? And then mark out 18 and 19. 18 and 19. All right, this is the key, okay? I'm going to have it right here, and then I'm going to post it on Google Classroom this afternoon for y'all for the other days, okay? But there it is for right now. All right, so Jacob, 1, 2, 3, and 4 are what you missed on. And the back of that is blank too, guys, if you want to do some work on that, okay? Jacob, 1 through 4 is what you missed on Friday, okay, buddy? Yes. Go to the bathroom first because you're a few a little bit down, and I'm going to call everybody up here.